Yeah, I remember it very clearly. The day the boys were reported missing was my birthday. Not that that matters, but I do remember specifically being glued to the television for that period of about a month.
By the time in North America that we were really hearing about the story, it was 4 or 5 days into the mission. It was around the time that the Thai government was beginning to open itself up to other volunteers and other ideas. So we already knew that the circumstances were very, very dire, and that that the predictions were not very positive for the outcome. So for us in North America, and I was filming something at the time, my wife Cheryl was very, very focused on it, and I was hearing a lot about it from her, but it was always with dread. That's one of the reasons why the outcome was so cathartic and so satisfying, because from almost the beginning, we assumed the outcome was going to be tragic.
Greatly so, yeah. I think Colin and I were the ones that actually struggled most. I felt Viggo was quite happy under there. It was hard to even get him up. I remember Colin and I, after each take, where we'd sort of do these long underwater squeezes together, we'd come up and there was a sort of, we grab each other and, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? I think on top of that, Colin's also afraid of water. So he was like doubling down on his fears.
You know, the actual shooting in our cave sets, and they were sets. We couldn't risk shooting in real caves. Was far more complicated than I expected it to be. I'd done a lot of filming underwater before, but more in open oceans and larger tanks, not these tight, refined spaces. And even though they were sets, it was still very, very challenging to put human beings in those positions and photograph them and stage these scenes.
I felt completely comfortable for the most part, and I love being in water and around water. But I did have one moment one day where I felt like serious anxiety about having equipment and carrying somebody, you know, through the darkness and through a difficult, challenging obstacle. And there was a moment where I felt like I was in real danger. And it just reminded me of how focused you had to stay. But I had a lot of admiration for these guys, knowing that they had a kind of an anxiety around claustrophobia to then go into the challenge and to handle it so well, you know.
I mean, there's playing real people, which is always, if they're alive, you know, you want to do them justice and that they're happy with what your interpretation of their story is. But particularly with this story, what they did was so selfless, was so heroic and beautiful. Everyone involved, and I know every actor playing every character wanted to really get that right, because it's not just about telling a story, it's about honoring and holding a torch to just the incredible nature of them as people, that they did this selflessly to save people they'd never met and may never see again. It's really beautiful. So it was trying to get it right for that reason. It wasn't just, I want to be like him and do a good acting job. It was, I think it went deeper than that.
This is one of those stories where, you know, I didn't have to challenge the crew or the cast to give their best effort. Everyone so respected what had been achieved that they just wanted to play their role and in the most convincing way and honor the truth of the story as they understood it. And that's why you have, you know, actors who are established movie stars like Viggo Mortensen and Colin Farrell really engaging in this as though it's an ensemble film. And you know, they also committed themselves to the authenticity to the point where they did all of the diving themselves. They learned it from the real divers. They learned the technique, and then they came to me and said, "Please, no doubles, no stunt doubles. We can safely do this. We've learned. Please allow us." And it meant they had to work a lot of extra days and hours, long days, to move from the first unit where the dialogue was going on to the dive unit where those scenes were being shot. And it was a huge commitment on their part, but it made a big difference with the film. I'm grateful for it.